Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Boutiquey Swedish Whiskey Girl. Today we are here with day 15 of my whiskey calendar. As always, I have that Boutiquey Whisky Company calendar with me. And yesterday we tried a lovely whiskey. It was one of my favorite ones so far, actually. And probably my favorite one out of all the ones I've tried blindly, because this was a whiskey that had things on the nose and things on the palate that I personally really enjoy. It's about £65 online, and the interesting thing, which I should have picked up, I actually have it here from yesterday, is that on the bottle you will see that there's a big teaspoon. I feel like I'm focusing a lot on talking, so I don't actually properly look at the labels, but this is probably, because of that massive hint, a teaspooned dram, which is basically when you've taken whiskey from one distillery and you added a teaspoon of whiskey from another distillery. And when you do that, it's basically whiskey from one distillery, but because you're adding whiskey from another distillery, you have to call it a blended malt, and you can't call it a single malt, because single malt is whiskey from one single distillery, which I'm sure a lot of you know already. I mean, it can be thousands of casks, but it has to be produced in one single distillery. So this is a teaspooned blended malt, and I really want to find out what it is. I wonder if I have someone I could ask, just because I want to know what distillery makes that, so I can look out for that in the future, because it seems to be a spirit I really enjoy. But enough of that. I mean, would I buy it for £65? Probably. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if we can find the next day. What are we on? 15. I am getting a little bit lost, actually. Where 13? Where is 15? Here, just in front of me. I think I am slowly losing it. And if it's possible, I'm getting worse and worse at opening these. Let's have a look, or let's not have a look, and let's pour this blindly. See what we get today. Let's start by having a look on the nose, as always. This is very much honey. Honey and stone fruits, like honey peaches. But it's quite mellow. It's not jumping out at me. Maybe just a little bit shy. A quite nice nose though. It has this kind of gentleness about it that reminds me of an Irish whiskey. But still elegance about it, but it's just a little bit shy. It doesn't feel very hot on the nose. But yeah, that honey peaches is probably the thing that I'm picking out the most. Maybe a bit of like forest, but let's have a taste and see if it might open up a little bit more there. More things going on the palate. A bit orangey, a little bit woody, but still quite mellow. I mean, the flavors are nice. It's one of those whiskies. I should have another sip before I say that, actually. Yeah, a little bit of very lovely spice, like sweeter spice, but I think it's the orange and this kind of cinnamon clove sting that blends together, and the woodiness. I mean, they all round up to a really lovely ball of flavor, but it's a little bit two-dimensional. You'd want like another layer just to take it up to the next step. I mean, the flavors are really nice. I am enjoying it. But my personal preference is when you're tasting a whiskey and you're getting different things, and then on the finish or the next time you sip it, there's another layer which just opens up the experience for you. But it might just be the mood I'm in at the moment. I mean, there's something in the middle of it that is absolutely delicious. Like the core of it is so delicious, and then there's things that kind of just trickle out. I'm gonna have a look and see what it is. Interesting. So this is an Irish single malt number 2, 16-year-old. And now this time I'm actually gonna have a look at the label because I missed a big clue last time I didn't. And it says, Jag on Aeneas, there's only one kind of coffee we're interested in. So it's a kind of board of directors with Irish coffee in front of them, and they've just rejected Aeneas Coffee, who was a big person in whiskey, of course, because he perfected the what's it called? The sign for the coffee still, or the continuous still as it came to be. I wonder if that means that this has been made with a continuous still in Ireland, or if it means that this hasn't. I mean, it's a single malt, so maybe pot still. And yeah, Irish single malt number 2, 16-year-old batch 5. It sits at 50.2% ABV. The nose is opened up a little bit more to a little bit more like wood polish. But yeah, it's very gentle. But like I said, on the palate, there's one thing in the middle, like the core, the heart of the whiskey. It's absolutely delicious. But then you have like this really strong core, and then everything else just kind of mellows out on the sides. So I would have just wanted another layer or another kind of clear thing to it to lift the experience. But with that said, I will definitely drink this dram. It is lovely. I mean, 16-year-old Irish whiskey. If you just said, would you like a dram of a 16-year-old Irish whiskey? I would go, yes, yes I would. I mean, that sounds great. I mean, funny label. It's just the funniest label we've had so far. I don't know, it's because it's a little bit of a nerdy humor, I feel. I mean, that's what I'm enjoying about these. It's just a little bit of fun, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you like Irish single malts around 16 years old? Do you have a favorite one, perhaps? Or have you tried this specific one? Let me know in the comments below. And yes, of course, and I hope to see you tomorrow for another review. And until then, I hope you're having a lovely, cozy December. Sláinte Skål!